1, 2, 3, let's go!
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon guys. Welcome back to my channel. I hope that you are doing well today. Today I wanted to bring you a video reviewing my new Garmin. So in the past I have reviewed my old Garmin Forerunner 735 XT, which I absolutely loved. I had it for 3, maybe 4 years, and I absolutely loved it. It was my first ever Garmin and I just absolutely loved it. It was such a good watch and it just functioned well. Even after 3 years it was still functioning so well, like as good as new. Maybe the battery life had deteriorated slightly, but not by much. Like it still lasted a good couple of days and I absolutely loved it. But for my birthday, my mum and dad got me a Garmin Fenix 6S, I believe, and so I'm going to review it today. I would never have bought myself a new watch because my old one worked perfectly good, but I was so grateful for this present because it is class. Like it is so much more next level from my old one. So my old one, when I bought it 3 years ago, was not the latest model, so it was like lacking in some functions, but this one is pretty up to date. It does quite a lot of amazing things, which I'm going to dive into today in this video. So the first thing is that this watch tracks my heart rate when I'm swimming. That's the biggest thing that I found that's so helpful compared to my old watch. My old watch, it tracked heart rate when I was running, when I was cycling, when I was dry, but when I was in the pool or doing open water swimming, it didn't track my heart rate. I would have to wear a chest strap, which obviously I had to buy additionally, which was kind of annoying. This one, it's all integrated into the watch. It actually works when I'm swimming. I kind of love that because it's so handy. I found it really interesting to compare the stats between my Whoop and my Garmin, and it's fairly accurate, to be fair to it. Like it's slightly off, but it's mostly accurate. If I do have to wear the strap really tight for it to be accurate, but it is pretty accurate, to be fair. And obviously I really like being able to see it when I'm swimming because especially with coming back to training after surgery, I don't want, especially in the first 2 weeks, I didn't want my heart rate to go over 150, 160. So it was actually really helpful for that because I didn't have to, when I'm on the turbo, I was just having the Whoop app open because the heart rate on my old watch kind of wasn't as accurate. So I would always have the Whoop app open, which would drain my phone battery and also be kind of inconvenient when I was on the bike, when I was on the turbo. But now I can actually see it up to date. The other thing I've noticed is when I'm running, the heart rate monitor is so much more up to date on this and it's just works more efficiently. The other thing that I kind of love about this is that it has more options to do more sports. My old one I had to like manually input walk and manually input strength, I think, whereas now it's all integrated. You can choose from so many different sports as well, which is kind of incredible, and I do love that feature. The other thing that I think is really cool is that you can actually pay with your watch, which I think is a fantastic idea. You basically put your bank card in it, whether it's a debit or a credit card, and you hold down the light button and it comes up with wallet and you basically enter a PIN code. And I think that's incredible. I think that it's so handy, especially if you're maybe out on a race and you don't have your phone on you but you want to quickly buy like a coffee or a drink or something. You can quickly do that, and I think it's incredible. The one thing I would say is when you do pay for it, I tried it in the co-op and you have to put it flat against the card reader, whereas when you're doing it with your phone like Apple Pay, you just kind of hover over it. You actually have to make contact with the bit for the contactless, which is kind of weird. Like it looks weird, but if you're stuck in an emergency, I think it's a great feature to have on here. This one does music and I believe my old one doesn't do music. I've never used that function, but I love that it has the opportunity to do that because then you don't have to carry your phone while you're running, which I think is great. The other thing that this watch does that my old watch didn't was the whole update with giving you your training report and giving you suggested training. My old watch didn't do that. It didn't tell me if I was overreaching, unproductive, etc, or strained. It didn't tell me a suggested training for that day. And it also will tell me the weather, what time the sunrise will be. It tells me my training status, which all of my other ones didn't really do. Like on my old watch it didn't do that, and actually it's quite handy when you roll out of bed and you don't even have to lift your phone to work out if it's raining or not. It's great. The training report I find really helpful, and my old watch never did that, and I actually love it. Obviously with returning to training it's a little bit confused. It's a bit like I went from unproductive to overreaching within the space of 2 days. So it is a little bit confused, but obviously that's probably an anomaly. I think if I was consistently training, I think it would be really efficient. It also registers HRV, which is what my Whoop registers to figure out the recovery percentage or your recovery status, I guess. The HRV on this doesn't seem to be as accurate as my Whoop, and so I don't really use that because I have my Whoop, but if I didn't have my Whoop I probably would just use that and go off it. But yeah, I think that this is just a great watch. Like it functions so well, and Garmin's as a whole are just so easy to use. So I'm gonna explain how to use it because I get a lot of questions from people that I coach at Tri Club or people that I like train with in Tri Club as to how to use it. So I'm gonna explain how to use it now. So I've taken it off my wrist just for ease of showing you how to use it. So this is the start button, this is the lap or back button, this is your up and down controls, and this is the light. Like I said, if you hold the light button down, it'll come up with the wallet, and then you just press that and type in your passcode, which I think is a great feature. So like I said, you can add so many different sports. I've obviously got mobility, walk, stand-up paddleboard, strength, triathlon, open water, etc. With the triathlon function, I think it's great that it basically just does it for you. So you would press start at the start of the swim, it would do its thing, then when you're getting out the swim you press this and it would be transition 1, and it times and tracks transition 1. Then you press it again when you're on the bike. It just is so efficient. So this button always is the lap button for all of these things. So say you just biked, that's you done. But I just think it's so good. And then to stop it, you would press the stop button. I'm gonna just discard that. So the main thing that I get asked is how to use it in the pool. So if I go up to pool swim, I press start. Now obviously you can change all the options, like you can put in workouts, you can do so many different things, but for the purpose of this video I'm just going to show you how to kind of lap it. So I've started my swim, I'm swimming, it's tracking my distance, it's tracking my interval time, my interval pace and my heart rate. You can change what you see on the screens, but I'm going to put the light on so it's easier for you guys to see. But say you've just done a 200 front crawl and you are resting, you press this button and it goes to rest. Now the colour of the screen changes so that you know that you're on rest. It gives you your rest timer, your repeat time, and the last interval distance and the last interval time. And then to, like, say you're about to push off the wall again, you press that button again and it goes white. That's when you know that you are swimming. So if it's white, you're on kind of thing. If it's grey, you're off. And the other thing is, as you scroll down, you can see the overall time, you can see the overall, I've got heart rate there. So obviously as you're swimming, you might be doing kick or drill that the watch might not detect the kind of, what's the way of describing it? Like it won't detect that you're actually moving. The way to do that is go up to the drill log and then you would start that. It would give you an overall time. Say you're doing like 100 kick, it'll give you your overall time. Then to end drill, you press the lap button again and it comes up with a screen that tells you like how, and asks you to put how much distance you did. So that's how you manually enter the distance. So say you just did a 50 kick, you would press that and it would put it. So you're obviously on your rest and it says that the interval was 50 meters. So that's how you do it. You kind of press stop, and I'm going to discard this, but that's how you kind of work it with swim. To do run, it's exactly the same. So if you're lapping it, you would do the exact same. If I was doing a run, I would press start. If I say I was doing like sets of 400 meters, if I'd done 400 meters, you would do that. Or if you want to split it while you're in a run, it'll do that. It'll automatically give you your split to every K or mile, depending on what you've got it set in. But yeah, it's really, really easy to use, to be honest. And I'm sure that once you get used to it, it's so easy to use. The other thing is that you can kind of input workouts. If I go into options, I can go to workouts and put either today's suggestion or another workout. No, I've not sent any to the watch. You have to send them to the watch, but you can. So today's suggestion is 1 hour 15 at 7:25 per kilometer as base training, and it'll give you a little bit of like information about it. So it says this long run is suggested to build up your mileage and endurance. So it can actually do that, which I think is great. You can also set other, I think it's in training, yeah, in training workouts, and you can get them there as well, but I've not sent any to the watch. You can also get navigation, which I think is unreal. So say you are in a place that you don't really know, you can plot a route and just press navigation, go on courses. I have got some program there for when I'm in Manchester. So yeah, I think it's so easy to do. It's really easy to use. The battery life on it is incredible. You can connect your phone. So when you use the Garmin app, it all just kind of, oh, you can see me, hello. It all kind of comes up here. So that was my turbo that I did this morning. And it gives you your steps, your calories, intensity minutes, your heart rate. If I go to my swim from Thursday, you will be able to see from the laps that it'll come up each interval. So here's 200, 200, 200. It'll give you the average pace, etc, etc. But as you can see, you have my heart rate from the swim, which I never used to get on my old watch. So yeah, that was just a quick whistle-stop tour onto how to use the watch. I think there's probably a lot more in-depth videos out there, but I just wanted to answer a few questions that I constantly get asked about how to use the watch. And so yeah, the one thing I do want to say about, like, this is my only criticism with this watch, and it's not really a criticism, it's just me being really overly fussy, because I don't mind it, but the strap is not as good as the Forerunner 375XT strap, because it's got this metal bit which I find slightly digs in if it's too tight. So like when I have to tighten it for swim to get the heart rate accurate, I find the metal bit digs in. I'm sure I can probably get a different strap that has just the old, like, it, I don't have the watch anymore because I sold it, but it just kind of had like a rubber bit that kind of secured the watch. I'm sure I would be able to get that one, or I'm sure I'll probably just get used to it. But that's the one thing, if I was to be overly critical of the watch, that would be the one thing I would criticise. But I absolutely love this watch. I think it is so good, and I'm really enjoying having it. And it was a great shout from my parents for that as a birthday gift. So yeah, I'm still gonna keep using my Whoop because it is more accurate in terms of the HRV, and I like the fact that Whoop kind of tracks your everyday life, like it tracks your sleep. It's a little bit more accurate in terms of tracking your sleep. It's a little bit more accurate in terms of tracking your heart rate. It just seems to be a little bit more accurate, and like obviously that's what its function is, whereas the Garmin does a lot more than that. So obviously you would hope that they were efficient with that. If you are interested in joining Whoop, you can get a free month and a free Whoop 4.0 wristband. The wristband's free, but you can get your first free month, and I'll leave the link below if you want to do that, because I would encourage you to give it a go. I think it's an incredible thing, and I've done a video on it before. I will do another video, updated video on it now that I've had it for a little bit longer. And so yeah, so there you have it. I hope that you enjoyed today's video. If you have any questions about the Garmin Fenix 6S, please comment them below. If you have any other related questions, please comment them below as well. Follow me on Instagram to keep up to date with everything that I'm up to, like with training and things like that, and just general life. And please subscribe to this channel. I am trying to hit 1,000 subscribers before the end of this year, and we're getting so close. Part of me wonders if we can get it before April. That would be epic. So please subscribe to this channel. It really, really supports the channel. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.